What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. Welcome to another episode 54 of the Daily Dose Podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Shout out to our sponsors, Complete Solutions LLC. Tapping with them in Albuquerque and the surrounding areas for all your construction and remodel needs. I'll have their website in the description. It's going to be a great episode, guys. UFC 326 over the weekend. We had some great fights on there. They finally announced the UFC White House card. Thought it was a little underdelivered, overhyped, but we'll get into that. And as always, some current topics. So let's get right to it, guys. UFC 326. Overall, I would say it was a pretty good card, right? Definitely wasn't a terrible card or a boring card. Let's see. A lot of decision. Very first fight of the night, yeah, that was a TKO. That one was pretty sick. We had a lot of decisions. We had a submission of Ricky Cersos. Cody Brundage lost the decision. Then Cody Garbrandt. Now, overall, Cody looked decent. He was landing some shots. Still just looks kind of gun shy. Just not who he once was, but he didn't look terrible. He was doing okay. And then his opponent headbutts him, I believe, in the second round, right? And then he hits him with a nut shot, not once, not twice, but 3 times, ultimately being the reason Cody wins the fight. Now, it was pretty crazy. After one of them, he literally threw up. I'm like, it's going to be over for sure. He threw up in the ring, and they still let him continue. So, I don't know. That one was absolutely nuts, no pun intended. But after 3 nut shots, 2 points were taken away. So when it came down to it, Cody won 29-28 across all scorecards. So if you take that into consideration, he would have lost 30-29. But he didn't do anything wrong. The guy was, what are you doing? He kept literally just kicking him square in the nuts. So Cody gets a win. He survives. He'll remain in the UFC. He calls out the kid who just beat Cheeto, David Martinez. That might be a tough fight, or it could be a really boring one. So we'll see what's up. Shout outs to him. He did get the win. And, he probably gets to live to see another day. Now we get to the main card. Gregory Rodriguez had a beautiful sleeper KO 1 minute and 47 seconds into the first round. It was going pretty good. They were going back and forth, kind of feeling each other out. He caught him with a punch and just literally put him out of there. Second fight, you had Drew Dober, Michael Johnson. Now this one had a little sketchy stuff going on again. Supposedly, the bet started swaying against him as the fight was approaching. Supposedly, and this is really allegedly, some gang had his nephew kidnapped and they were holding him for ransom. If he didn't lose the fight, who knows, right? But either way, he actually looked really good. Michael Johnson was fast. He was jabbing good. He was actually controlling the fight, putting up more volume. Dober wasn't really able to land much. And in the second round, caught him with a big counter. Absolutely slept him. It was insane. So, and then we had Raul Rojas Jr. versus Rob Font. Now, that one was interesting. It just looked like Rob Font just really didn't have any answers for Raul Rojas' ground game. Just getting controlled. Nothing crazy. Again, Raul Rojas still has a long ways to go. But, yeah, Rob just didn't really have an answer for his grappling exchanges. One fight that was crazy too, it was in the prelims, that Dante Johnson versus Cody Brundage. I remember there was a point where Brundage was so tired he was laying down, and Dante Johnson literally had front headlock position and just didn't know what to do with anything. Cody Brundage didn't even fight the hands. If he knew how to throw up a Darce, a guillotine, any type of submissions, he could have done something, and he literally just looked like a fish out of water. So it's pretty interesting that people get to this level and don't know how to do anything like that. But yeah, so Raul Rojas Jr. got the win. And then the co-main event, Caio Barajo, he had gotten the win over Rainer De Ritter. Pretty easy. I don't know if De Ritter was having that same type of stuff where he just doesn't have the desire or the motivation, but he didn't even look like he wanted to be in there. He was just kind of accepting his fate. So even Dana mentioned that in the post-fight presser, and when something like that happens and Dana mentions it, might be a little tough to get your next fight booked. And in the main event, we had Charles Oliveira versus Max Holloway. I saw this fight going in Max's favor. He was going to put up a lot of volume. keep it standing on the feet, and boy, was I wrong. Charles Oliveira just absolutely mauls Max Holloway. I guess the one crazy thing about Max is I was looking through his record. He never really fought a crazy grappler with those kind of credentials. And just in general, Max is a very unique character in the sense he's gotten as far as he had, being one of the greatest at featherweight, multiple-time world champion, and he's never really trained out of camp, right? He's always just trained with his homies. So, what kind of level does he really have of grappling and stuff like that, being that he's just training with his homies in Hawaii? No shade or no knock on Max. I'm a huge fan. Most people don't even get to that level being a part of a big camp, much less, just some homies out there in Hawaii. I know, a few years ago, Max kind of stopped sparring. He does more situational stuff and things like that. But, yeah, he just had absolutely no answer for Charles Oliveira. Charles was just doing whatever he wanted, just taking him down. He started to wear on him. He landed some big 12-6 shots. He was just overall doing way more damage. On the feet, Max looked okay when they did have their little bit of time on the feet, but yeah, he just had no answer for it. So it was pretty crazy to see. Curious where Max goes from here. Charles Oliveira looks like he accepted a fight, at the post-fight presser. He said he's down to run it with Conor McGregor. That's crazy. For Conor to come off a 5-year layoff and just want to run it with Charles Oliveira. The lad has some balls. He said, let's do it, Charlie. One thing I did see, he was on a interview with Chael Sonnen, Uncle Chael, shout outs, and he was saying that he didn't think that they were BMFs because they cut the weight to 155, so he definitely said he'll be fighting at 170. Charles said, let's do it. I heard that could be on International Fight Week, so we'll see what happens. But like I said, pretty good card overall. That main event didn't really deliver in the sense of it was kind of boring. Charles was just controlling him. It wasn't what we expect in a BMF fight, right? A BMF fight's, the Nate and Jorge fight. Jorge put it on him, stand up, dropping him, dope performance. Of course, Poirier and Gaethje's crazy war, that head kick KO, Max and Justin. So, it just didn't really live up to it in that aspect, but that's how it goes sometimes. So we'll see what happens from the with the BMF belt from here. Now, next weekend, we have a fight night card at the Meta Apex out there in Vegas, headlined by Josh Emmett and Kevin Vallejos. Let's see. You got Brad Tavares on the prelims. You got Chris Curtis. You got Charles Johnson on here. Andre Feely, Ian Kutalabe, Amanda Lemos, Jillian Roberts, Josh Emmett, Kevin Vallejos. Should be a pretty good fight. I'm taking Andre Feely over Jose Miguel Delgado. I'm taking Ian Kutalabe over Usmar Sy. I'm taking Amanda Lemos over Jillian Roberts. And I know Kevin Vallejos has a lot of good momentum coming up. He's a really sharp, fast up-and-comer. It's so tough. I know one shot is all it takes from Josh Emmett. How old is Josh Emmett? Let's see here. Josh Emmett is 41. Yeah. I'm taking Kevin Vallejos by unanimous decision. We'll see how they go. Not a crazy card. A decent fight night. Again, everything is free, so you can't really complain, but definitely could be a little better. Now, finally, last night, the moment we've all been waiting for. Were you guys super pumped or were you guys disappointed? For me personally, they announced the UFC White House card, right? And one of the big things about it for me was just the way they hyped it up. Now, let's say just randomly one day they go, hey guys, June 14th at the White House, we're going to have this pretty dope card, couple title fights, couple other fights. It's going to be sick. We would be pumped, but we heard speculations of legends coming in and fighting, 5-6 title fights, all this crazy stuff. We're thinking of all these wild matchups, and this is the card we get, right? Ilia Topuria versus Justin Gaethje headlines it. Again, not a terrible fight. Justin Gaethje has about as much of a chance of winning as Jake Paul did against Anthony Joshua. It's a terrible matchup for him, right? He walks forward. Ilia has way too much power, way too much accuracy. And, especially in that Patty fight, we see that those wars are really adding up. Justin was slow. He was just able to beat Patty. It just showed kind of Patty's level, like I've said. So Easy fight for Topuria. Then we got Pereira and Tsarukyan. That's a pretty dope fight. Sean O'Malley versus Amin Sahabi. I could see Sean winning that. Could be pretty entertaining. Not a huge fight for the division. Decent, though. Mauricio Rufy and Michael Chandler. Nobody cares, right? But hopefully Michael Chandler gets it after everything he waited for. Again, Bo Nickel, Kyle Dawkins. Who cares, right? Nothing crazy. And again, dope fight for Steve Garcia. But Steve Garcia versus Diego Lopez really puts them, let's say Steve wins it. He gets, that number one contender-ish spot. Diego Lopez is number 2. Would still have to win one more for a title shot. If he loses, Diego Lopez already had his cracks at it. So, again, these aren't like, oh, my God. But, like I said, I think Ilya definitely gets the win. I'm taking Alex over Tsarukyan. I would love to see him pull it off and be a 3-weight world champion. Don't get it twisted, though. Tsarukyan has a good stand-up game. He's a big boy. He could pull it off as well. He could stop Alex Pereira, but I'm riding with Poetson on that one. I got Sean O'Malley over Amin Sahabi. If O'Malley ever really wants a chance at the title again, we need to see some of those wow moments again. We need a big performance. Obviously, that Song Yadong win didn't blow your hair back. We need a KO. We need a spectacular knockout over Amin Sahabi. I'll take Michael Chandler over Mauricio Rufy. He could definitely catch him with a big shot. But I wouldn't be surprised if he lost that one. I'll take Bo Nickel over Kyle Dawkins by probably just controlling him, out grappling him, maybe doing something with it. And we'll go with the underdog in that one. Steve Garcia by Diego over Diego Lopez. Just being that he gets in a lot of wars, Diego Lopez, and he seems to fight really fast in between them. So those are going to be my picks for that one. But like I said, it's not a terrible card. It's a pretty good card, right? It's not a horrible card, but I just think that it was overhyped and underdelivered. You guys let me know in the comments what you think. That was just my personal take. Now we got this hype Brazil card. There's some pretty good matchups on here. I believe the main event is Arman Tsarukyan versus Muhammad Makayev, the former flyweight. So I think that's a bit of a stylistic matchup. I think he's probably going to get, because these are submission only, so I'm going with Arman in that one. And then in the co-main, you got Jean Silva versus Bryce Mitchell. Now I'm gonna go with Bryce Mitchell in that submission only one, but he already lost to him. So this one's crazy. I guess I saw Masvidal post that if your money ain't right, don't come at me. So I guess he's not going to compete against Shara Bullet anymore due to a money situation, is what he said. So you got Shara Bullet versus Edson Barbosa. I'm taking Shara in that one. He's just a lot bigger, a lot younger. And then besides that, I don't really know any of the other guys. So pretty cool, though. Little grappling event out there in Brazil. I think this is on like Wednesday or something. So, excuse me. We'll see how they go. Now, Tom Aspinall signs with Eddie Hearn as his management company. Man, I don't know if I've seen a worse decision before, right? The thing is this, whether you guys like it or not, you don't go against the machine. We've seen time and time again how much harder and how quick people's career goes to shit when they come at Dana. Obviously, he knows Dana hates Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn was very upset about the Conor Ben situation. You go sign with him. You're already in this position where you're not going to be fighting for a while. I just think that was a terrible, terrible idea. You'll almost be kind of in that John Jones where you're going to miss out on some fights because Dana doesn't even want to do it with you. So, yeah, I think that was a terrible decision. We'll see how it all plays out, but don't expect Aspinall back in there anytime soon. Now, in the post-fight press conference for 326, somebody asked Dana White about Arman Tsarukyan and that whole RAF situation. And he said, no, I get that. You keep messing with a fighter, it's going to happen. But overall, he was just saying not only the situations do we see in public, but there's things behind closed doors are the reasons why Dana just basically doesn't even like him or want to give him a title shot. So tough situation to be in, tough position to be in for Arman. And again, we don't really know the details to defend or go one way or the other, but hopefully he figures it out. He's been pretty entertaining as of lately, really starting to get a lot more fans and stuff like that. Now, Patchy Mix, man, Patchy Mix, had a great career in Bellator, right? Great career in Bellator, and comes to the UFC, has a couple hard ones. Oof, check this out. He fights this 19-year-old phenom in RIZIN, man, and gets dropped continuously, gets kneed in the face, gets kneed, and it's tough because you can hit ground opponents in there in RIZIN with kicks and, dropped him again. Gosh, this is just tough one to see. Just puts it on him. Again, every time he drops him, he's kneeing him while he's a downed opponent in the UFC, but not for RIZIN. God, man, just tough to see for sure. This sport is a brutal one, right? That's all I can say. Shout outs to Patchy Mix. Hopefully he can come back from it, but that was definitely a tough one to see. Now, something that's just absolutely crazy. I've brought it up before, and I saw someone else talking about it recently. What happened to Daniel D-Rod Rodriguez? He looked great in his last fight. He just disappears. He hasn't posted or been heard from or been seen in almost like 8 to 10 months now. It's getting a little concerning, right? Supposedly he's in a Mexican jail, but like I said, there's no actual records or documentation or talking to him. So the UFC, what's up? You got to find your boy. That's your employee, man. That's your guy. So, or if anybody knows anything, let us know in the comments because, yeah, it's just a crazy situation. Now, this Georgio Poullas guy is a dork, right? Him and Arman wrestled at that RAF. Some people thought Arman unnecessarily punched him. If you go back and watch it, he kept like poking Arman in the eye, slapping him, doing all sorts of dirty stuff. And that's because he probably usually just grapples, not probably, because he just grapples these random people in the streets, So he's actually trying to compete with someone that knows what they're doing. And yeah, he rightfully deserved that. He was supposed to initially fight on that hype grappling event this weekend, or this week rather. And Arman probably would have strangled him, but something happened, and they do have the rematch coming up in April on RAF, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, he rightfully so got punched, and he was in an interview saying whether it's in sparring or in UFC, he'd be down to fight Arman. This is one of those times where people be out of their damn minds. Arman would absolutely maul you, whoop your ass in a fight, buddy. These little juice wrestling dudes that just be manhandling your average civilian. Like, stop it, buddy. That doesn't even make any sense. Pat Downey he posted a couple different clips of a cop and of another person actually beating Georgio, and Georgio still owes him those $1,000 because he never paid on it. So you better knock that off, buddy. Former boxing veteran Victor Ortiz signs with BKFC. Now, these are always interesting. It just comes down to, can they adapt to the bare knuckle and all that? If they can, he'll be a hell of a fighter. I'm curious to see who they give him for like his first matchup, so we'll definitely be keeping an eye out for that. Now, DeenTheGreat, he just can't seem... Check this out. Oh, buddy. DeenTheGreat got in a little bit of sparring with Keyshawn Davis and gets that belt to ass. Can't even do anything with him. I mean, this guy just keeps taking L after L after L, and he just doesn't stop. I don't know how he can bounce back from just continually doing that. Now, check this clip out, guys. Gronk and Tom Brady are talking about Logan Paul.
I mean, he has shown a lot of skills in those combat sports, but to actually have the skills.
Now, Logan Paul recently came out and said that he would fight any NFL player for $1 million.
The big boys.
I don't know, buddy. There's some big boys. I think he was calling out Myles Garrett, some other guys. We'll see if he actually do it, but he's definitely calling out some big boys. One thing that was interesting I saw Logan Paul say was that for his fight with Floyd, he said that originally he sold it to some company in Dubai for $10 million cash up front, and then never responded, never reached back out to those people. Basically just took their $10 million, didn't give Logan any of it. So Logan's like, I want my percentage of that as well. But that shit's crazy. That's probably why he was having problems last time he went out there. You can't just take 10 mil from these people and disappear, man. And it's crazy. Vlad was actually in this interview talking about some other stuff as well, saying that, yeah, Floyd is actually having some financial debts. And like I said, I hate to admit it, I'm a big fan of Floyd, but fighting 3 times in a year is a little sketch with all the rumors and everything going around. Before we keep going, guys, if you're rocking with this, hit that subscribe button. drop a like on the episode, share this with a friend, comment in the comment section. That's how this podcast keeps going, and we appreciate every single one of you guys supporting the Daily Dose podcast. Also, if you or your business wants to advertise, reach out to me. I will have my email in the description. All right, guys. So, some other news going on. We got Vitali claims that you can pay $10,000 in Cambodia to shoot a death row inmate with an RPG. This is absolutely insane. Imagine being on death row and they're like, all right, bud, you're up. You know what I mean? This rich tourist wants to blow you up with an RPG. Like, that is just crazy, guys. I hope that he's lying, but he claims he saw it with his own eyes. Look at this clip. These guys' relationship is absolutely hilarious. This is The Rock and Kevin Hart on the set of Jumanji.
JJ, man, seriously, this is fucked up, man.
I can scoot you up.
Where's my sag rep? I mean it. I'll fucking have my sag rep on your ass.
Do you not have legroom back there?
I shut this whole fucking production down.
Fuck his legroom.
What do I do?
Oh, these dudes have always had a super funny relationship. It's cool to see, even after all these years, they're still doing that.
Let me scoot you up a little bit.
That's absolutely hilarious. Love to see
Who
it.
cares?
You
Your
guys
legs are
gotta
2 feet long.
tune in if you want to see it. On the shorts, I always post little kind of previews of me talking about it, but to see these full clips, you got to tune in to the full episode, guys. Now, this North Carolina rancher, talk about a bad day, guys. This North Carolina rancher goes through a car wash. Look at this. Oh, my God. So he had some type of wire fencing in the back of his truck, doesn't close his truck bed, goes through a car wash. It gets caught in all the brushes and stuff and just starts wrecking shit. Oh, my God. Buddy is going to have to pay some money for that. That is absolutely nuts. Man, so if you think you're having a bad day, he's definitely having a worse one. Amy Luciani cries online, shows bag of that good stuff. Check this out, guys. She's saying she lost her daughter because of Dwight Howard. Busts some out of her little, like, private stash.
I told everybody.
Busts out a whole bag. Like, they took him. It's all Dwight's fault. I don't know, ma'am. You pulled that little personal one out there like you knew what you were doing. Absolutely crazy, guys, but definitely a shame if their kid is in CPS custody due to some stuff like that. So hopefully they can figure out and get it together. Check out this clip. This is Eddie Griffin. He was talking about El Mencho, which I thought was really weird, but he was talking about El Mencho again. He's saying this is allegedly.
El Menche, the drug lord that they killed last week, the reason they really killed him because, according to sources, he was selling children.
That would be absolutely
to Epstein
crazy.
And the Islanders.
Crazy,
So of course,
guys.
they
He's
had to
saying
go and clean
from,
up
sources, this is what he allegedly heard. So,
on everything I said on it.
That's not coming from me, but if it is true, that is just absolutely wild beyond even what we think. And it's like, the more time goes on, the more files come up. That's what it seems. That's why, I don't even dig into it too much because it's just horrible and disgusting, and all those people should be lined up and shot immediately. If you're in there, you should be lined up and shot. No questions asked. Speaking of more of that, Bill Clinton. This guy is just out of his gourd. So he was in court, addressing some of the stuff on the files. And look at this clip, guys. I mean, his lawyer literally has to take the pictures away from him. He's damn near getting excited about it, like, what the hell is wrong with that guy? So,
Bill, you're looking to
whatever they said he did it because he's sitting there grinning and he looks like he's damn near about to leave this earth, but he doesn't look like he's in any type of good condition anyways. Former MLB star Yasiel Puig is facing 10 to 15 years for involvement in a illegal sports betting ring. Ouch, guys. So there you go. Whatever money Buddy got or however he got involved in there, 15 to 20 years. It's going to be a no for me, guys. I am more than good on that. And it seems like a lot more people are going to be headed in that direction because it just seems to be popping up more and more and more. One thing that was cool to see is the Michigan, the Michigan coach, his case was dropped as far as the stalking and everything like that. Seemed like, you know, it wasn't what she said it was. So shout outs to him. It's pretty funny. I'm going to put the clip in there. He daps it up with the other cop. Yeah, boy, I'm good, baby. So it was funny to see. But yeah, I doubt he'll get his job back. Again, I was talking about this with my son. It's like, no, he didn't do anything wrong, like illegal, but he was doing stuff wrong. You know what I mean? He still had a side piece and stuff like that. So, you know, he still wasn't a good look. He still did wrong by his family. He just didn't do anything illegal as far as stalking and stuff like that. So, but shout outs to him. He you know, got charges dropped and everything like that. Look at this, guys. This was on a Southwest flight. A mid-air bomb threat. I don't know what the hell's going on. Everybody had to look down, put their hands up. When they ended up landing, you know, like a bomb squad came in there and swept everything out. Oh, no, dude. This is... No, sir, buddy. That's when I lose my shit. So I better get rich and get to that private because that is just... Yeah, not okay. I definitely would have been tripping. They had to hold their hands up. Guys coming in, taking some guy off the plane. Oh, y'all be careful out there, guys. Be careful out there. Now, crime of the week. I didn't have a big crime I wanted to go over. Something I wanted to mention. What happened to this Nancy Guthrie case? This thing had damn near daily updates on the ransom, on this and that. Just went ghost. I'm telling you, that thing was either fake or it was set up by the family. I mean, it's just super weird, right? It was just crazy. Couldn't get enough of it, and it literally just disappears out of nowhere. Give me your guys' thoughts. I just think it's too weird. Great episode today, guys. Lots of current topics. UFC 326 was pretty badass. Gave my take on the White House card and all the current topics. As always, before we get out of here, the message of the week. Be not afraid of growing slowly. Be afraid only of standing still. As long as you're trying, as long as you're shooting your shot and working towards that goal, that's all you can do. A little bit of progress is better than no progress. If you don't have any progress and you're staying the same, you're pretty much dying. So lock in, give it a shot, you know, keep going every day, brick by brick, that 1% better every day, and it'll make a difference. Progress is still progress, even when it's small. That's a wrap, guys. Episode 54 of the Daily Dose Podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Shout out to all my sponsors. Have a great week, everybody. I really appreciate you guys. We're going to get out of here on this. And we're out.